Welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro lang channel that talks about a different kind of game, the reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bisdak and Sportito Joe, Joel Parcon. Well, not Sportito Joe for now. And with me, as always, is Juxtapotitos, Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
I was watching uh like highlight videos of the WNBA, Caitlin
Mm-hmm.
Clark. That girl
Mm-hmm.
is playing a completely different game, like a totally different game.
Totally different game. It seems that she has a clue on something that no one else got, right?
Yeah. She makes everybody else look just so slow.
So slow. And they say that there are a couple of new players coming into the WNBA who might be on her level or even better. I forget the name of the other one, but one is Paige Beckers.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
So hopefully we get something like the Magic Johnson Larry Bird thing in the 80s, so the WNBA can finally start standing on its own without having to have the dudes bail them out, because that's a
yeah,
really bad look.
yeah, and well, of course, a Magic Johnson Larry Bird thing is better, so much better than a Michael Jordan Kirk Heinrich rivalry, quote unquote, right?
Yeah, or maybe even worse, like just a period of complete dominance, a la like Shaq and Kobe. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
Anyway, so yeah, Michael, yeah, that's something that came up in this episode. The episode that we're giving our thoughts on for tonight is season 47, episode 6, entitled "Feeling the FOMO." Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit more in a little bit later. But before we begin, do consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you get updated whenever we come up with new episodes on this channel. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs whenever we talk Survivor, you can always go to wherever you get your podcasts and search for Council of Titos. And so, without further ado, let's begin. So, Rome has finally fallen.
yep.
And how did you feel about how they like built him up just to bring him down in this episode, right?
I'm gonna say it's good storytelling.
Mhm,
They might have done him. Some people might think that they did him a little bit dirty, but it was entertaining television, right?
mhm.
Um, Schadenfreude. If we're Andy with the whole like speaking German.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Schadenfreude, like the whole idea of finding some sort of pleasure or some sort of entertainment in the misfortune of others. That's
Mhm.
exactly what this episode was.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of here for it.
At first, when I on my first watch of the episode, I was like, "Why the hell are they giving Rome the previously on Survivor line?" And then by the end, I was like, "Oh, so that's why. That's why."
Yeah.
They had him bookend the episode basically, right?
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I mean, he was. I mean, let's face it. He was good television. He
Yeah.
was good television. But despite the fact that we did see a couple of secret scenes where supposedly he was sort of more human than he was being edited, right?
Yeah.
I sort of have doubts about that now because of because of that whole thing about him, having to shed a crocodile tear here and there. That confessional, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know, but yeah, he was good TV. He was good TV definitely. But I'm sure if you were with him on an island for 24 hours a day, it was gonna be grating.
Oh yeah. I don't doubt that, absolutely. But I don't know. I get the feeling that he was edited a lot bigger.
Mm, really?
I mean, like, yeah, yeah. I'm sure that like it must have been tough with him on the island, but a lot of it would have to do with not only him being a big personality, but also the fact that you'd be hungry, you'd be like tired, you'd have a bad back from sleeping on bamboo. So like that plus Rome would be grating more, that would be grating. And I think what the editors did by cutting out the more quote unquote human moments, by sort of focusing and sort of having a higher, I guess, concentration of Rome's Romeness,
Romaness.
um
That's pretty good.
is like giving us a taste of what it would feel like, even though I don't think he was acting like that all the time. But it
Oh.
would feel like it because of all of the other factors that are sort of oppressing, your body
Mm-hmm.
and your mind and your spirit on that island, right? So we get this sort of distilled version of it,
Mm-hmm.
which,
Mm-hmm.
which is really good. Like, especially with this episode as being the sort of climax and denouement of his story. Quoting that great Jimmy Cliff song, "The harder they come, the harder they fall."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Off the bat, right? He was playing hard. He was immediately looking for idols. He ostracized himself pretty much from the rest of the tribe, especially when in that was the first episode, right? When he went to the well and he found that first clue, right?
Yeah.
All of that, right? He was playing hard, and it was weird because in previous seasons, it was always the thing that he who plays the hardest gets voted out right away.
Yeah.
But for one reason or another, he wasn't voted out, right? And he stayed on,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then he got lucky with a steal a vote,
Mm.
and yeah, he that all the more inflated his ego. Saul was right;
Mm.
his ego was just too big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the end, like what you said, because he had gotten that high, right? that's his fall was really just that hard, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate the fact that he tried to do an Omer, right? He
Yes.
tried to pick something, a little something, and then used it against other people. But he did not, I think, count on Saul doing anything or telling people his true nature, or at the very least, the truth of his nature to their tribe, right?
I'm gonna say though that Kyle did say,
Yes.
like, so what's his, Rome was able to, like, take a grain of truth and kind of extrapolate it out. Um, what Rome did is, quoting my brother. I really love my brother's little one-liners. Rome was taking half truths and turning them into full lies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he was taking sort of a little bit of, uh wait, no, that I'll save that line for another time. I don't think it applies here. He was taking a little tiny bit of information and extrapolating out just a lot more than what was there. But to be fair to Rome, Kyle did give a little bit of information that could be kind of exploited. Kyle was just lucky that Saul was there to be the sort of fact checker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's precisely correct. I mean, had Saul not been there, the truth, it would have been a Rome versus Kyle thing, right? Because yeah, we did see in that conversation that Kyle, well, while it was Rome who sort of led Kyle into saying that Tiana is a threat, but then again, he
Hmm.
only said that she's fair. I don't know what that means, right?
Yeah.
But it's true that Kyle did say that both Sue and Caroline are weak and that they are a package deal,
Yeah.
right? And then Kyle just sort of twisted that all the very just in a very small way to saying that it's about the relationship. You have a mother and daughter relationship. It's nothing more than that, right?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, you're right. Had Saul not been there, it probably would have been well, good thing for Kyle then that he won immunity, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But he would have been like hard pressed to try and fight off that statement that Rome that mountain that Rome put up with the anthill of detail that he gave.
Yeah. This was an entire episode that was just dunking on Rome.
Yeah.
Ah, this is the hashtag justice for Asia. like coming to.
Ooh, could that have been the case?
But yeah, I also do think that even though nobody is ever going to admit it, this is sort of at the back of their minds a um an audition for Survivor 50.
Mm, yeah, you're right.
Right? So it would be great, for example, like just imagine having Rome and Q in the same season.
Mm. That would be interesting. That would definitely be interesting.
Like the
Did
most
did
chaotic
Q make
season
the
ever.
merge?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. Let me check.
Yeah, because
Let
I was
me.
thinking, like, a Survivor 50 could be that, like, the ones who just missed it, right?
Yeah, that would be a really good like season
Right.
or really cool
Unlucky
theme.
number 13. Right. Lucky number 13 or something like that. Right? Those who just missed the merge and now they really will want to make the merge, right? That makes it all the more interesting. Anyway, yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. Q made it to
you
the.
made it to the merge. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Well, yeah, kudos to Rome though. I would think that he is a little bit more legendary than Jelinski. He was able to sit on Probe's stool, right,
you
and
you
do a bit
know
of
that he only
commentary.
got to do that because they knew that he was going to be voted out, right?
No, but I mean the what do you call this? The other castaways were like, I mean, Tiana was like, "What is happening?" And then Sam later on says, "Good for him," like under his breath, "Good for him." They knew, they knew that he was getting voted out. I guess that's why they encouraged him to go on the stool. I don't
Yeah,
know if Jeff knew though.
I'm pretty sure he did. Like I'm pretty sure he was like briefed because he's always kind of briefed a little bit
Mm,
by the sort of producers and like the camera people or whatever. Like they occasionally will tell him like, yeah, it looks like it's going to be whoever tonight, you know. Which is why he was so pissed when in Survivor Australia, the second season,
mm-hmm.
when while walking to tribal council, the vote changed.
Oh.
It wasn't on camera. Like that's why they're no longer allowed to talk to each other while walking to tribal, or like when the cameras aren't on them, they're not allowed to talk games, they're not allowed to talk strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Jeff was kind of blindsided by that one vote in Survivor Australia. So yeah, like he kind of knows, he has sort of a rough idea of what's where the tribe is kind of leaning or what the plans are.
Mm-hmm.
And good for him, good for his instinct to like get Rome to sit in his seat, because that just continues to add to the story
Mm-hmm.
of like hubris and making a more gratifying fall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would have thought, man? Who would have thought that we would have an entire episode that was a masterclass on storytelling using dramatic irony?
Right? Who knows? Survivor can do that. Right? We're getting that especially here. Yeah, Rome definitely he will be remembered this season. Definitely.
Hmm.
He will be
Yeah.
remembered. 47 will be, I mean, when you talk about 47, Rome will be one of the topics of conversation always. Right. And well, good for him again. He had the best time of his life on Survivor. Those were probably the best 2-3 days of his life in Survivor, except for the fact that they lost the immunity challenge
Oh man.
as a group.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the best 2-3 days of his life, and then he got voted off. And speaking of the immunity challenge, I just want to jump to that. What is with Rome wanting to be at the end of these challenges? Again, he
Yeah.
was at the puzzle. He was at the thing in the end.
That was so funny, dude. He's like, "Ugh, ugh."
Yeah, it was like it was him and Sam, right? It was him and Sam.
I believe so.
Oh
Yeah.
no, 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 because Sam won. Who was it? Gabe. It was him and Gabe. They were the ones in the last part.
Yes. Wait. Let me.
Yeah. And then you had that thing where he tried to play up again, trying to do an Omer. He tried to play up the what Saul was doing, right?
Yeah.
When he was just sort of like being Saul and telling that that's not the right way, a little softer, a little something really Saul. And then he was shouting at me,
Yeah,
right?
and the
And
other
good for
thing that
you.
he tried to sort of use against Saul was Saul's line that they included where he was like, Jeff, are we allowed to swap?
Yeah. Yeah, really. He tried as much as he could to use every little bit of detail that he could to sway people his way. I really thought that he was getting Caroline. Caroline had that look. And I don't know if
Mm.
that was like, oh, he's trying his best, but we're gonna vote his ass off anyway.
uh like it was this episode felt so different.
Mm,
I guess that's why I really like it.
mm-hmm,
And I guess that's why like it's memorable, right? Because it kind of deviates quite a bit from what we expect, right? Because when we look at the overall sort of structure of a typical Survivor episode, um, it's like a little bit of camp life, maybe a journey. They have the immunity challenge, then after the immunity challenge, a scramble, and during that scramble time, we're usually presented with a choice of two. Like it's either going to be um in this case, if they had done something a little bit more uh traditional, it would have been sort of it's Rome or Saul, and they would have played up, people saying like, I don't want to vote out Rome, but and then like they talk about how but maybe he's a good meat shield, and
mm,
Saul is, not expecting it, so his shot in the dark, blah 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 blah. But like in this particular episode, there was just lip service to maybe it's gonna be Saul, and then
mm-hmm.
nah, you know, it was yeah, it was a Fall of Rome episode, a takedown
Yes,
episode,
yes.
one of those, and
Ha-
and
Have you have you checked online what the feedback has been about it? I haven't
yeah,
been able to check.
people generally like the episode.
Uh-huh.
People are generally like, dude, Rome was quite delusional, especially like the exit press when Rome talked in the exit press.
Mm-hmm.
Um he talked about how he wasn't completely blindsided, right? He had a feeling or whatever because and and so people were like, wow, he's still delusional. So yeah, I think consensus, at least on the internet, is that this is quite uh or the consensus on the internet is quite positive. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that we lost our girl Asia
Mm.
because of Rome. Like, I feel like that plays a part in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and like us, like it's great TV.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
we very rarely get a true villain in Survivor, and this is kind of he was just a straight villain here, which is wow. The whole crocodile tears thing. If he wasn't a villain, they wouldn't have included that confessional.
Yeah. They
They
would
would
have
have made it,
included the other one, right? They would have included the the confessional or the secret scene where he gave his backstory, right? But
yeah,
the general public never really got to see that the
yeah,
secret scene, how he was, what he had like, what very successful older siblings or something like that, right?
yeah, yeah.
A lawyer, a doctor, and something else.
Yep.
And then he's a esports broadcaster. Well, not to down that industry, it is growing, but yeah.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, kudos to Rome. This was a the Rome falling down. Sam did say it. Right? Rome wasn't built in a day, but his game really was just what destroyed in three or something. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to give props to Andy, right? I don't know if this
yeah.
was I'm not sure if this was intentional on his part, but when he was speaking German in the voting out confessional, um the Roman Empire fell because of the Germanic tribes, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, it was the Ostrogoths. It was the Goths who brought down Rome. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know
No,
if
but
he meant
it
that, but
wasn't only the Goths, right? There were
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Visigoths, the Franks, the
yeah, yeah.
like Angles, the Saxons, etc. And like collectively, we kind of know them as the Germanic tribes that came
Mm,
in and like led to the fall of Rome.
yeah.
So
Well, I'm gonna give
I'm
it to Andy. I'm gonna give it to Andy because he's our canonical winner pick. Yes, he
yeah,
did do that on purpose. He did it on purpose.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because I mean,
literary. It's literary. This is a very literary episode.
yes, it's a very literary episode, and yes, let's give it to Andy. I mean, he definitely feels at the bottom again. I'm sure,
Hmm.
because he was also blindsided, right?
Yeah.
He was also on a bit of a high because he came from that high of blindsiding Annika,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden, he realizes that he was the backup. He was the
Yeah.
backup vote just in case Rome had something up his sleeve. Right. So that is not gonna be good for Andy. And I
Yeah.
think that we saw that in the next time on the ramifications of that. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. I just wanna any other thing that you wanna point out after our discourse on Rome.
Uh, there might be something to this having our survivors of the week be the person that gets the whose line is it actually. That was
Mm-hmm.
like a big thing
Uh huh.
when I was watching. I was like, oh my god, he said the line. He said the
We're still right.
line.
Yeah,
uh,
Andy got the line. Let's preempt that part of the no, but anyway, yeah, he got the line. That was and well, because it was kind of hard to imagine someone else also saying it because if anyone was feeling left out, right? Uh, uh, it was Andy. He's the one who has exhibited that the most. And yeah, we didn't again. There was a secret scene that the general public didn't get to see, where again he was left out. Right, the schoolyard pick, where
oh
he
yeah,
was
yeah,
picked last.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. You mentioned something about how it was okay that they didn't show that. Was that what you said? That it's okay that they didn't show it, or no? Maybe I think I read it in the Facebook group that we were a part of,
Hmm.
where someone said that it's okay that they didn't show it, or otherwise, or even if it added to the whole poor Andy narrative, because I don't know if I don't remember what reason they gave, but yeah, well, probably in the sense that it would have diverted focus from the fact that this was the fall of Rome episode, right? Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this because he is because Andy is the canonical winner pick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of the really good things about like a schoolyard pick, apart from what they mention about it being like balanced and all of that, you get you get like an insight into the rest of the tribe's kind of perception of you. And by picking Andy last, what's being telegraphed there is that Andy is on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they not showing us that Andy is on the bottom? Because he wins the season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially with the next time on, right? That's his redemption slash revenge tour.
Watch as he gets voted out next episode.
Anyway, one of the people that is planning on exacting revenge on is Sam,
Yeah.
who I would have to say is really playing a good game right now. Right.
Yes.
Except for the fact that he didn't realize that the buoy was the advantage. Overall, right now, Sam is playing a pretty good game. He has a good he has a good idea of how the game is moving. He knows when to ask and when to just give up the advantage, right? He was immediately like he was like pushing for Rome, and then when people were saying it was Sue who asked, right? What do you feel about Andy? And he was like, okay, if it's Andy, it's Andy. He was like, yeah,
Hmm.
he, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. There is the other like line of thinking that Sam is playing an okay game
Mm-hmm.
because uh he's playing like not that great a game.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's alienated Andy and Rachel,
And Rachel. Oh, okay, okay,
right?
yeah.
Because Rachel was blindsided right before the merge,
Mm-hmm.
which is like your invitation to jump ship.
True. True. And Sam really hasn't been able to make any relationships or forge any relationships with the other two tribes. Right? He never got on a journey. He never went on a journey, so he never had the chance to interact with the members of the other tribe.
Hmm.
And was he in the was he in the that thing that thing with the corn toss thing? That wasn't the
The
yeah.
Survivor Social?
Yeah, the Survivor Social. Was he on that? He wasn't, right? Was he?
Let me check.
It,
Whoops.
it was Kyle. Was he there? It was Rachel. Was Sierra there? Anyway, so I really don't think that he has had chance of the chance of like forging relationships with the other two tribes. And
Hmm.
yeah, but I would still like to think that he has been playing pretty good, not great, pretty good. In the fact that he has not. I don't think I think that people have let go of the idea that he and Sierra are a duo and are running and were running things on the Yellow Tribe.
Hmm.
Except for the fact that Rachel just, I mean, they did talk about blindsiding Annika, and then so Rachel was also blindsided in that, and because nobody thinks that Andy can think up anything like that, I'm sure that they're gonna start thinking that Sam and Sierra were the ones pulling the strings on that. But yeah, I still have to appreciate Sam's game so far. Right,
Yeah.
not that great. It's I don't think that it's a winning game, but he's really
Hmm.
playing good.
Yeah. Yeah. So like it sort of begs the question, right? Because um I was listening to that Survivor Specialists podcast. And I think it was Survivor Specialists that made this point that in every Survivor season as of late, you have kind of three people that are going to be remembered for the season. You're going to have the chaotic player, so Q.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in this particular season, Rome,
Mm-hmm.
you have the winner and the other
Andy.
and the yeah, Andy, and the other person that everybody remembers is the one that would have won because they were playing a really good game and got voted out because of it. Basically, you're Jesse.
Mm. Mm. Do you think that that's Sam so far?
No, I just said no.
No. Well, now here's the thing. Do you think that that's Gabe? Because he says that he wants to be on the Rushmore, right? And so far, I mean, I would like to think that Jesse is definitely on the Rushmore for the new era. Well, the Rushmore of survivors who have not won.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, regardless, do you think that Gabe has done enough so far to be on Rushmore?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. He hasn't done anything insane.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't done anything like cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't vote out his own mom.
Mm. Yeah.
He didn't like blindside his number one in the way that Jesse did.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm.
he didn't pull an Omer.
Mm. Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, he hasn't really done anything yet.
yeah.
So on hold whether or not Gabe is going to be on Rushmore.
So
Yeah.
far the closest we have to that right now
Hmm.
is probably Genevieve.
Oh yeah.
But then we haven't really gotten much else, which makes me feel kind of nervous about her game. Which makes me feel nervous for her because she had that one great episode. Um, she's been doing okay, but like she isn't being played up.
Hmm. Yeah, and it yes, she did find the advantage, but it didn't do her any good.
Yeah,
She
I mean,
wasn't even in the top 3. She wasn't even in the final 3, right?
if anything, it's going to give a lot of visibility to her law firm, whatever law firm it is that she works for. Because, like, you know, she was the only person that was in color during the
Everyone else was
challenge, right?
just mud.
Yeah, it was like monochrome, and then you have like Genevieve in
Yeah.
color, like, oh,
They can use that. They can use that clip for their advertisements. Stand
yeah,
out in a sea of mudslinging. We care. Right.
that's good.
Yeah, we don't sling mud. We sell the truth. Yeah.
You know, another really cool thing that like this episode, maybe this season has quite a number of coincidences, right? Like here on the Survivor um wiki, occurring on the sixth episode of the 47th season, Rome's elimination coincidentally mirrors the real life fall of the Roman Empire at the hands of the Germanic tribes in 476 AD.
Now wait, I'm gonna have to search that. Did Rome really fall in 476 AD?
I mean, that's sort of the generally accepted year, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Kudos Survivor for figuring things out that way.
No, man, kudos tribes for like for waiting for just the right time to vote him out. Yeah, it's probably we're probably around episode 6, right? Yeah, let's stop using him as a meat shield now.
Yes, and Andy is the orchestrator of everything. He
Yeah.
knew that it was gonna be the sixth episode. That's why he was biding his time before laying down some German.
Another really cool like coincidence that I just found so badass was um Kyle has a bat tattooed on his back.
And he's the first one to get the bat and the immunity idol. Immunity what? Necklace?
Necklace?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It
Although
isn't
it
it doesn't look good at all. Like it I
it looks good as a part outside of being worn. Right? On its own it
yes.
looks kind of cool. Like it's sort of like a Batman insignia. But when it's worn, it's like it's so bulky and it's like it doesn't fit properly because I don't know. It because it's I think it's shaped a little bit like shoulder pads. Like it curves around the body, and then there's a
Mm,
like a weird point where it sticks. It doesn't really fall down on the body, right? So yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of it kind of comes out at an angle, I guess.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, and it also of course doesn't help that these guys have lost some weight
Yeah.
since the start, right? They probably should have molded it around a skinny dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like something that would look really cool on your back.
Mm. Mm. But then again, when you face front, it'll like the front would like be sticking out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, just as like a design, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's on the front, like it I don't know, it looks like a bra.
It never quite like falls well on the front of well, we'll see. I mean, we've just seen it once, worn once. We'll see someone else wearing it hopefully in the next episodes. It might look different on someone else. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, fingers crossed.
Fingers
But I
crossed.
don't know. It's nothing like the immunity idol that I really the immunity necklace that I really like is the one from um in New Era is the one from 43, the one that looks like a mythosaur skull.
Mm. Mm.
Was that 43?
All right, let me check. The one like that looked like the Ouroboros one? Is that what you're talking about? Oh no.
Wait.
Oh no, no, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got it right now. It's like it's like the one from Mandalorian, right? The
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It looks like a mythosaur. That's what
yeah,
the mythosaur skull.
yeah.
That's what the yeah. Yeah, I like that. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah. So Survivor producers, we know that you're listening. Uh, please make sure that you design your immunity necklaces properly. We're not the only ones who have a bit of some critique about it, but yeah, think about it a little bit more.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of immunity and whoever will wear it, this is something that I picked up from the Facebook group that we're a part of, official Survivor Philippines fans. I don't know if anyone else has pointed it out. I'm sure that someone else has pointed it out, but I just saw it there. When you
Hmm.
look at the OBB, the silhouette that comes out holding the torch is a female. And they say
Ooh.
that alludes to the fact that the winner for this year's for seasons 47 is gonna be female. Do you think that we have been getting that clue and it has been right under our noses this entire time?
You know, when I look at the logo of Survivor 47,
Mm-hmm.
on one side you have a guy carrying a torch
Uh,
on the left, and on the right side you have a girl carrying a torch.
mm-hmm.
What this tells me is that the winner of Survivor 47 is bi.
And that's Andy.
Andy.
Andy. All right. Yeah, we are just really, you know, Rooting for Andy right now.
Andy
Uh,
Stan.
Andy Stan. But yeah, again, who knows? It might have been a guy with a ponytail, right? In the silhouette, right, with
Mm.
the long hair, just like someone who can twirl his hair like that,
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
We're just. It's a stretch. It's a stretch.
But up until Andy like wins or is voted out, I feel like we're going to have like a section of episode on the Council of Titos where it's just us, like finding
All these
whatever
little
we
like
can.
minute
Like,
details to like prop up Andy as the winner. Right. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's sort of like New Rock Stars when what's it was coming out when
Oh, WandaVision.
WandaVision was coming out and they were like really on the Mephisto
Yeah.
train, like we're on the Andy train.
Yeah, we're on the Andy train. Andy is the winner. Andy is gonna be the winner for this season, until he's not, or until he actually is, right? Yeah.
And at
Uh,
which point we're going to say that it was stolen.
he should have won. He should have
We'll storm
won.
the CBS studios.
Yeah. We'll book the next flight out.
There's the two of us in front of like the CBS main office.
Jeff Probst, you robbed us of a winner.
Okay.
Right. How cool would it be though if Andy wins? So that's like two Filipinos,
In the new
two,
era,
yeah,
yeah.
in the new era, right?
Yeah, because I know we've had like in the past we've had people that have had some Filipino blood. I
Mm.
can't remember.
Gabby Pascuzzi.
Gabby, yeah, Gabby there. That's it. Um,
There
but
was
like,
there was another one, yeah. But anyway, yeah,
but new era we're two for two.
yeah. We are two for two. We will be two for two.
I'm claiming it. I'm claiming
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Let's manifest it. Andy will win Survivor 47. Right. The fact that he was given that German line to denote the fall of Rome. Yeah. He will win. He will win Survivor 47. Watch how Andy gets voted off the next episode. Oh my god. Yeah.
My bet though is that it's gonna be like Genevieve.
Mm. People are likening her game to Kim Spradling. Where I don't see it. Kim Spradling from her run in One World.
Oh yeah,
Uh yeah, where she was like controlling everything, right? But
for
right now,
for one
I don't really
episode.
quite see. Yeah, from that one episode, yeah. But we don't quite see it yet. She hasn't really exerted. I guess it's also because of the new era where you can't really like dominate the game too much, or else you're gonna end up like Rome,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
So like Genevieve, um, I don't know, man. She's like the internet fanboy's wet dream. Because she's she's been described as sort of like a combination of uh Kim Spradlin and um what's her name? Parvati.
Parvati, Parvati Swallow,
Yeah,
shallow, shallow.
shallow. So like the next Parvati shallow, right? Because of that one episode. Because of that one
Yeah.
episode, she showed like flashes of both Parv and Kim Spradlin.
Mm-hmm.
So the internet is behind her because
Mm-hmm.
of that. And yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I'd uh I'd be on that train too if I wasn't like on the Andy train.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Again, she can't really she can't really exert too much effort because people will see that she's playing hard, and that will be bad for her game. I I don't really quite see what her game is. That's something that I think that I need to brush up on how how to figure out what each Castaway's game is. Right.
Hmm.
Right now, I'm just going through, like, experiencing each episode, not really like delving too much. I appreciate it when people make moves, or when people seem to have a good grasp of the game. But I don't quite see, like, okay, so Andy is playing a very, like, empathetic game, or strategic game. I don't really
Hmm.
quite see that. Right. Yeah.
With yeah, with Genevieve specifically, because like I don't think we really do have a sense for her game one way or another, because she hasn't been shown very much, and she hasn't been given very much agency, or she hasn't been shown with very much agency, with the exception again of that one episode,
Mm-hmm.
which was, so far probably the best boot
Mm.
of the new era, or not new era, of the season, next to
Mm.
this one.
Next to this one. Yeah. Oh, so is she getting a Gabler treatment? Yeah.
We can just, yeah, that's a possibility. That is a remote possibility,
Yeah.
but no, no.
Because, I mean, Kishan was her enemy, just like
Yeah, yeah.
how Gabler was against, who was that? The name of that,
Ellie,
Ellie,
Ellie.
right? Ellie was Gabler's enemy, and then in one fell swoop, they took out their enemy, and then all of a sudden, we don't hear a peep out of them again,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So Genevieve's game is a mix of Parv, Kim, and Gabler. Such a random last addition.
And
Uh,
her and the manner in which they're editing her is like Erica.
mm, mm. The sheep and sorry, the wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what Erica said, right? She's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Any particular reason that they didn't include in the final edit Andy's animal metaphor?
Oh yeah. What is it? What was this metaphor again? I mean, when I saw that secret scene, I was like, oh, so is because I don't know. It might clue people in too much that he is gonna win this whole thing. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look, the other time that somebody of Filipino descent won, they had a
Mm.
really cool animal line.
What was his? Forget what was his animal line again?
I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh, anyway.
It doesn't work for people of South Asian descent,
Yeah.
but it works for people of Filipino descent. Well, we can't have that.
We can't
That'll make it
have.
too obvious.
Yeah. So yeah. Yes. Again, Andy's gonna win. uh. Speaking of someone who won, I have been reading some comments online. I think that this was during one no buffs. Some people are saying that Kyle, and during the sorry, the immunity challenge, some are saying, and I on my second watch I did see it, that Kyle's back foot was behind the line on the thicker part of the platform, on
Mm,
that last portion. So remember, there's like three portions of it, and
yeah,
then the back of his foot was on the thicker portion, so making it easier for him to stand on the platform. But then again, number one, Jeff didn't call it out,
yeah,
and number two, Jeff did just say that one foot, or at least one your toe or something, has to be touching the line at the bottom of the platform. He
yeah.
never said anything about both feet having to be in that last portion.
So if you're listening, Peridium, this is to add to your 50 more times, 50 more times Survivor players hack challenges.
Mhm. He read the
Because yeah,
fine print. Kyle read the
yeah,
fine print and was able to find a loophole.
yeah, right. By spreading his legs out a little bit wider, he gets to lower his center of gravity, making it easier for him to uh balance himself, and consequently balance that ball on the
Mhm.
big protractor looking thing.
Yeah. Well, they call it a bow, right? And it was also curious that he was the only one who had his body at an angle.
Mm.
Everyone else was facing straight forward. He was facing a little bit to the left. I don't know if that changed anything in terms of his balance or in terms of his like center of gravity. But yeah,
Well, maybe,
maybe.
maybe.
Anyone who knows like what is that? That's part of physics, right?
Well, all I know is that when I used to do Arnis,
Mm,
when I used to do Eskrima, um, our teacher would get quote unquote, get mad at us or call us out for not having for an incorrect stance, basically.
mm,
The idea was to get the idea was like stand square and then take one step forward, and that's your basic stance. That way you get like a sort of triangle shape going, and that supposedly, or no, not supposedly, it is more stable. It
mm-hmm,
is more stable. You get, you know, so maybe it was a psychological thing,
mm,
right? Like having your body at an angle, sort of like that, makes you feel more triangly and thus more stable. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah. Well, we did see how shifting from straightforward to trying to go at an angle, like what Tini did. She looked suddenly to her right, and that threw her balance off. Like
Yeah.
and yeah, that she caused her to drop the ball, right? So yeah, so yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't quite remember if my Eskrima teacher got irate with us whenever we didn't have the stance. But yeah, I do remember that that is supposed to be how you're supposed to. That is the proper stance, having the triangle, and that's also something that they do in I think in karate, right? Where one foot always has to be
Yeah.
forward, and you have to make yourself as lean as possible. So you're sort of turning your body sort of turned a little bit inward or something.
Yeah. And then it's always like the front. You lead with your right. It was
Mm.
always you lead with your right. That way you're one of the things that I remember our teacher saying, lead with your right, your heart is farther back. So if somebody has a knife, they have to move a little bit farther to hit you there. Like, okay, sure.
That's a sound advice. Yeah.
Like, that probably isn't exactly why it is, but you know what? I'm gonna take that.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes them a bit, half a second bit more to reach your heart. Yeah. Then again, you're like, what's on the right? Your liver and your everything else is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, the liver regenerates. But anyway, that's beside the point. um. Yeah.
What did
Anything?
you
Yeah. Yeah. Go.
what
Go.
did
Go.
you think of uh half the tribe not being immune? So basically, what did you think of like 12 people being vulnerable and one person immune? Like,
I
yeah.
I like the twist. I like the fact that it was changed into that rather than we did have this conversation also last week, right? Like again, expectations, the reality not quite meeting up to expectations. But yeah, I like the fact that what do you call this? Yeah, there was only one who was immune because it shakes things up because I'm sure that Survivor, again, going back to what we've been saying, how Survivor has become samey,
Yeah.
right? People, castaways have become game bots. They know what's coming up next, so they know how to behave. They know that they just have to be on the winning team. But this time, even being on the winning team doesn't guarantee you getting to the next day, right? So that
Yeah.
was pretty cool. That was pretty cool of them to change things up. I hope that it's not like okay, so this worked for the season. Let's do it for the next three, right? I hope that it's
Yeah.
not like that.
You know, what's really funny is now that they're not merged yet,
Mm,
they conduct tribal like they are merged tribe,
Mm.
where it's just one person immune, everybody else is vulnerable. After merging, apparently next episode they're going to be divided into two small tribes again.
Oh my gosh.
So when they're merged, that's when they act like they're not merged. But it
Yeah.
is a step up from last season where like they basically weren't merged because they didn't have a merge style vote until like top 11 or top 10 or something.
Mm.
At least here they had one merge style vote at top 13.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh Again, kudos to the producers for shaking things up
Yeah.
just to subvert expectations. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the biggest subversion of expectations would be for the guy who almost quit at the start of the game to win it all in the end. Right?
Yes. Yep. The
So
comeback
Andy again.
story. The
Yeah, the
comeback
comeback
story.
story. Comeback story from the brink of quitting to winning it all.
That's the sort of narrative that Jeff Probst absolutely loves, right? Like,
Mm,
you know, sort of like sort of like um you have somebody that uh is kind of like Siri in a way. Like somebody that's perceived as, not being a very strong sort of player, somebody that's basically a couch potato, right? That was
mm,
Siri's story. She wasn't very survivor-y. And take that one step further, that's somebody that breaks down in the first like day, right? That's somebody that is decidedly not survivor-ish.
mm-hmm,
That is somebody that is a great representation of the common person. The common person being somebody that is probably not going to survive the first day of Survivor, like,
yeah. This Andy might just end up being, I don't know if I already mentioned this before, if I already said this before. Andy might just end up being the castaway that Jeff hoped Banu was gonna be, right?
yes.
Because Banu had all of that, that all that likability going for him that Andy doesn't quite have, right? He's definitely probably a really nice guy. And I'm sure that that comes across for Jeff. But yeah, the fact that Andy just keeps on going, just keeps on finding is I don't know. We're getting tired of uh this descriptive word here in the Philippines nowadays. But he is so resilient in finding ways to get back up and find ways to get further in the game, such that he is the Filipino spirit.
You know what? I was thinking about it, right? Andy is kind of like a mix of Banu and Owen.
Mm-hmm.
Owen
Okay.
Knight. Like
Yeah.
he has that sort of vibe to him, you know,
Yeah.
very kind of
He's
down
being
to
Charlie.
earth.
He's Charlie Brown. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's part of the Yellow Tribe. Come on, right? That's like super Charlie Brown. But yeah, he did have did like shades of Banu in there, but
Mm-hmm.
he is what Banu could have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's. I don't know. No, he's not Banu 2.0. Uh, he's yeah. He's the a better. Yeah. He's what Banu, the ideal Banu. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, okay. Here's something that I have. Here's a note that I have. Uh, I know that people have been saying that the mud on Survivor isn't necessarily really like mud. It's supposed to be like a special mix that's
Yes.
not really dirty or anything. I mean, it's probably still dirty, but not it's not toxic or doesn't have bacteria or anything like that. But
Hmm.
for the life of me, I cannot fathom them not allowing the winning group to shower off before, or to rinse off before eating. That reward, it still looks so weird for me. Like they're looking at they're eating all of these the charcuterie, uh and then they still have mud on their hands, right?
Yep.
And their faces, and I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff really likes that.
Yeah.
He really likes the metaphor of childbirth. He likes the whole war paint thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay in the challenge, but then again, after the challenge, allow them to rinse off before eating. Come on, right? It's
But
not
it's
like
like, it's the spoils of war. You don't remove your war paint after you like, defeat your enemies in battle and the lamentation of their women and all of that stuff. Like, you don't remove your war paint. You keep that on.
okay. I know that it's not dirty, but I mean,
It
it's
it
not
seems
like
kind of gross
it.
though.
Yeah, it seems kind of
Like,
gross, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Again, I was waiting for like an advantage to pop up at the bottle the bottle that Teeny was drinking from. But I guess that, like, Survivor has like done away with all of those secret advantages in these like meals or something like that.
yeah, that's something they don't really do very much in US Survivor.
Yeah.
But then, like, it's all over Australian Survivor, which I
Mm-hmm.
find really interesting because there's this impression that, like, US Survivor is, crawling with advantages and all of that stuff. And Australian Survivor is the more like pure
Mm.
kind of old school Survivor experience or whatever. But like, Australian Survivor has those stupid twists and, like, okay, we're going to put you in like a freaking pig pen and you stay there the night. And they have quite a lot of advantages. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
Great show though.
Great show, great show, and of course, when the next Survivor Australia, which is Australia versus the world, right? We are gonna cover
Yeah.
that
Oh God.
for the first time here in the Council of Titos.
So
Speaking of
hyped for that. I'm
advantage,
so
though,
hyped for that.
when is it coming out, though?
I
Do we
do.
know? Uh, yeah. Anyway, speaking of advantages, do you think that Jeff finally got it right? Advantages are now being seen as disadvantages. The whole point that he had Rome explain.
Um, it depends. It depends. Some advantages are advantages. Other advantages are not
Mm,
so much. It depends on how well it is designed.
mm,
And uh I think that the uh the current iteration of the trinket advantage or
mm,
whatever is miles better than the previous one.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we've covered this before. Um, but the thing that makes it kind of suck is that it is um what do you call it? Is that it is something that becomes public knowledge by the very nature of, you know,
The journey.
how it comes up, right? But
Yeah.
I can totally see it being designed in such a way that it isn't something that comes up in the journey,
Mm-hmm.
but it might be something that like you find in um
In
the
camp.
individual stage of the game. Like
Mm,
once merge hits,
mm,
something that brings the three people together, or there's some stipulation there that if people outside of the group find out about it, then it loses all of its efficacy until that person is voted out. Like, a lot of ways to design around it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, you know,
I think that yeah, you got what I was gonna go for. When yeah, my thought about this was that advantages are now seen as disadvantages because of the social nature of the new era, where
mm,
everyone shares everything with everyone, right?
yeah,
Well, at least at the very least, with as much people or those who that they are comfortable with, right? So,
yeah,
especially after a journey, so holding back information is seen as a disadvantage for you. So it might be something that you can get voted off of,
yeah,
voted off for. So you have to be upfront with everyone about everything that happens. So yeah, it yeah, you're right that there are ways for them to design how that comes up better.
yeah.
Uh,
The
yeah,
journey just kind of sucks right now
yeah, yeah.
because you know, what I guess what players have figured out is you go to the journey, and if somebody is kind of sus when they get back, if you make it to the merge, you can just end up like fact checking it,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
So, if you get three people from, three different tribes come together and sort of tell what the other people or what was said about the journey, then you should be able to get a pretty good picture of what happened and what each person is lying about, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless the three that went on the journey like agree that, hey, we're going to lie about this particular thing. But that's not a very good idea because it comes at the risk of like losing trust in the tribe that's supposed to be there for you come merge.
Mm, true. Yeah. So I don't know. They need to come up with a better way.
Yeah.
Uh, my mind just like drifted off a bit, and I thought, what if they design like a challenge, much like what you liked before, like they have to go into the forest, right? And one by one, they have to go into the forest, and this is during the three tribe, the pre-merge. So they'd go into the forest, and then for one set of these three, instead of finding something that will help them with the final puzzle or whatever it is, they
Mhm.
find something that tells them you are now a part of three, right? And right, so it's like okay, and then you also have this thing that will help you in the challenge, but you are now a part of three. Later on, you will find the other three to whatever. Just like how if you remember the whole code thing
Yeah.
from the earlier New Era seasons.
I really like that. I wish they brought it back.
Yeah, right.
Saying like stupid things at tribal.
Yeah, or I don't know. They
At
will
challenges.
they describe they dis or the thing that points towards the others. So, for example, one person will get it first. So the first person will get it first. They won't be in the same challenge. So the first person will
Mm.
get it, and then the clue for the next person is this person is yada yada yada. They give a very vague description of who it is from the other tribe that has the other
Mm.
piece, and then the third person will have the person who has the second piece is yada yada yada. Right? That makes it a more of a mystery that they also have to solve on their own. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, again, it makes it more. I don't know. I think that it will create that sense of okay, I need to keep this to myself because
Mm.
there's no way for anyone else to find out about it, right? Because
Mm.
this is something new again, right? So yeah, that's something new. But then again, expectations versus reality. Uh,
So
we can.
speaking of people keeping to themselves,
Mm.
what do you think of the way Sue is handling her idol?
um, I think that she is so lucky that Caroline, she's in a tight duo technically with Caroline. She has to be wary of Tiana.
Yeah.
I think that she has to have Tiana on her sides now, because Tiana, one way or another, is gonna reveal that, and it will be a bad thing for Sue, right?
I mean, Tiana is if we're gonna have like the sacrificial lamb pre-tribe, because like usually
Mm,
once you hit merge, each like it's kind of expected that each tribe offers up, somebody as the sacrificial lamb to the gods of Survivor, unless you have like a Rome situation.
mm,
So this particular group hasn't gone through that of like offering this is the person that we think we can vote out from our tribe. And if it comes down to it, for Blue Tribe, it's probably going to be Tiana.
mm. Yeah, because, well, oh, they actually have the most right now, right? They have
Yeah,
five.
yeah, yeah. The only person that was taken out from their tribe was TK.
Yeah, and everyone. How there are how many red left? Three, right?
Three,
Genevieve, Teeny, and Saul, and there are four from
four from
yellow.
Yellow Tribe. Yeah,
Yeah, so their number has to go down. But yeah,
and so and it has to be Tiana,
yeah.
or it's probably going to be Tiana.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sue, if Sue is playing smart, I think, right?
Mm,
This her best move would be to throw Tiana under the bus
mm-hmm.
more than Kyle. Like she might not like Kyle, but she's actually seen Tiana throw Gabe under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Kyle, it was just hearsay.
And it was just, well, it was a vote.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a vote, but
Yeah. Uh yeah, aside from that, it was just like that whole thing with Rome. Yeah. Yeah, it is Diana. It is Diana. Uh and I think especially with this thing with Rome, Kyle has upped his what again? Social currency with the rest of the
yes,
group,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So yeah, backed up by Saul fact checking
yeah,
on Rome. Yeah. Or how do you call that? Character checking, character referencing on Rome,
yeah.
right?
God, this is a good episode for Saul.
Yeah. I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for him. He gets to go a little bit farther in the game. Yeah.
Mm.
Anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Uh, we've been going quite long now.
All right, let's go quickly to whose line is it actually. So anyway, uh previous line, so far it holds up. It was an Andy line. So do you want to go
Yes.
to our survivors of the week first before we say whose line is it actually?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's go first to survivors of the week. Who's your cast? Oh, let's do this. Let's subvert expectations. Let's go first
Ooh.
to your purple of the week.
Uh, my purple of the week is like an actual second name
Oh.
because, like I said earlier, right? Like usually what happens with a survivor is they're like, all right, it could be this person, it could be this person. This time
Mm.
around, it was like, nope, no, this other person. So
Mhm.
the lack of a backup plan or the lack of a
Mm.
second plan, uh, yeah, was my purple of the week. What about you?
Oh well. For me, yes, the episode was actually really good. It was so good that it was so hard to choose. Uh, Yeah, but I did choose in the end, and my purple of the week is we have established that that the usefulness of advantages is that they are useless. So that's my purple of the week. Usefulness of challenges of advantages. I mean, Genevieve's advantage at the challenge was useless, and
Mhm.
the amulet advantage was rendered useless again because everyone shares everything with everyone else. And it would have been fun. It would have been funny if they all of a sudden played it on Andy.
They should have.
They
If
should
you
have, right?
know, they should have. Somebody should have just whispered to Andy, like, make sure you play it for yourself.
Mm. Sam could have done that, and he could have gained even more social
Yeah,
currency with Andy, right?
yeah,
Yeah, just so that he's clued in, like, okay, you're the backup plan, but play the amulet on yourself.
yeah. So if the shot in the dark hits, you're
Yeah,
immune.
yeah.
And anyway,
Poor Saul, if that's the case.
uh, poor Sammy. Poor Sammy, because that was the name. That was the third name that was written down.
Oh yeah, yeah. True. It was Sam. True.
That would have been amazing. That would have been
That
amazing.
would have been amazing. Yeah, that would have been amazing. But yeah, again,
What
they
could have
played it on
been?
Teeny. What could have been? What could have been?
All right, that's my purple of the week now. My purple of the week is the very unlikely events playing out in this way. Sam tells Andy, dude, play that idol on yourself tonight. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure it's you. When Tribal comes, Shot in the Dark is played by Rome. Let's assume that like he did have, feeling and that he's just not retroactively planting memories. And and the Shot in the Dark hits. And then Andy is immune.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the
And
last vote read is Sam. Ah,
yeah. Oh man, that would have been so cool. That
yeah.
would have been that would have been terrible for Andy's game, but that would have been so cool.
Anyway, let's move on to goat of the week. Who's your goat of the week?
Who is my go-to of the week? Wait, let me. Um, I want to say I want to say Tiana.
Ooh.
Yeah, I want to say Tiana because of the Survivor Social,
Mm, mm,
like because of throwing people under the bus
mm, mm.
that she probably shouldn't have.
And now her social capital is like low,
Yeah.
especially for the
Hmm.
Tuku tribe. Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, I love him and I think that he's gonna win, but goat of the week for this week goes to Andy for me. Only also because of the fact that the secret scene was a secret scene. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the scene that would have endeared more people towards him was taken out. And yes, the scene that gave us the animal metaphor that would have, like, signaled to the rest of the world that he is gonna win was taken out, right? And in the end, he was the backup, right? Good thing everyone was in on voting Rome out, and good thing that
Yeah.
Rome did not have enough of a feeling that he was getting voted out.
Yeah.
He was a little lucky. Well, I don't know if he was really lucky or Rome was just, being Rome. Yeah. But yeah, for me, goat of the week this week is Andy, unfortunately. But then
Yeah.
again, that's just for the week. I'm sure that he will have his revenge slash redemption arc in the
Yeah.
following weeks.
Yep.
All right. Castaway of the week. Who's your castaway of the week?
It's a toss-up between Saul and Kyle, but I'm gonna say Saul because he won.
Mm.
Um, because he won that civil war.
Mm. And it's so nice seeing that, sorry, I'm gonna use your your word, juxtaposed with Rome saying that sorry, Saul. It's gonna be a what? A home game. I don't know why he said a home game or a roam game, and claiming that Saul getting voted out is a home game. I did not get that. He was just trying, just
Mm,
blurting out words. Uh, yeah. So
yeah, the
Saul,
Rome court advantage.
roam court advantage. Oh gosh. Yeah, in that whole Michael Jordan versus Kirk Heinrich uh, match. Anyway, for me, well, that's a good, that's a solid pick. But yeah, you said yours was either Saul or Kyle. But yeah, I did go for Kyle.
Mm,
Yeah, because number one, he won immunity, and the immunity necklace looks exactly like, or sort of like, the tattoo that he has on his back. He got who he wanted voted out. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, he got his way basically, without having his own vote, right? And he now has his vote back, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, my other, you had Kyle or Saul. Mine was Kyle or, mine was either gonna be Kyle or Sam.
Mm,
Yeah, I do see his game again. He had a good game, but I do see that his game is sort of on the rise right now. And then he finally got to eat his first pineapple. And breaking news, he is a pineapple guy. Uh, yeah, and then he basically was the, while Kyle was the one who threw the name out there, it was Sam who sort of said that everyone was in agreement. I don't know. Is that a word? Agreement?
isn't it like agreement? But anyway,
Yeah, but he said agreement. So everyone's in agreement. It's Rome. Anyway, he for me he steered the vote, but more Kyle for me.
mm, okay.
Right.
So,
So I guess
so
that goes back to our, whose line is it actually? Who do you
well,
have, or whose line is it
I
actually?
suppose I suppose if we go by Tribe of Titos consensus,
Mm-hmm.
um we're both feeling Kyle, right? So
Yeah.
Kyle is our like official survivor of the week, our canonical survivor
Mm-hmm.
of the week. So I suppose um the canonical whose line is it actually? Our pickle on blast is going to be coming from Kyle.
Yep. So
And my sort of Elseworld like B plot uh what's it called? Spin-off of I don't know. Mini series
mm-hmm.
is in that sort of alternate timeline. Um it's it is Saul, but
So
I suppose canonically we're going with
we're going with Kyle.
in the Council of Tito's alternate ultimate universe,
It's Kyle. In Council of Titos Universe 616, it's
it's
Kyle.
616 it's Kyle, and in the ultimate universe where I am Mike Morales, uh, it's what's it? It's Saul.
It's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any
And
other
in the
predictions?
Council of
Oh, yeah.
Tito's, and in the Council of Tito's MCU, it's Sam.
It's Sam. Mm-hmm. Our other geekdoms bleeding into this geekdom. Uh, anyway, any other predictions for the upcoming episode or episodes? We are on episode 7. We're smack in the middle.
Yeah. My uh my prediction, Penguin wins the war.
I haven't finished the episode yet. Don't say anything. Don't no, no, no.
It's another really good episode. Amazing cliffhanger. Anyway.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Speaking of good
And
episodes, the
Agatha
yeah, there you go.
Harkness made up The Witch's Road.
Although if you check out all of the, I think, yeah, it's not just new rock stars, but even Screen Crush and Heavy Spoilers, they do point out that a lot of the elements on the Witch's Road match up with things that are in the life of Billy.
Yeah. Yeah, right. The theory is that they're just like hanging out in like tunnels under Westview, and while Wanda Maximoff had the hex, Billy Maximoff has like his own little
Mm.
hex underground where
Ooh.
he's manifesting the Witch's Road.
Ooh. That is interesting. I've never
Yeah.
heard of that theory, but yeah. Anyway, cool. Yeah. Again, I'm gonna have to post potential spoilers because we did mention the last name. Yeah. Anyway, any other predictions for
uh,
Survivor?
well, so we've talked about our, and because we're on Laro-Laro lang, we already talked a little bit about sports
Mm-hmm.
right at the very beginning. No, no prediction. Well, I guess the boot, the potential boots, would be, uh, where is it?
Do you think that
Uh,
Andy is gonna get his revenge on Gata?
no,
No, you don't
no,
think that he's gonna
not
get a
for.
revenge.
I mean, eventually when he wins, but like right now,
It's gonna be you're thinking it's gonna
uh,
be Tiana.
yeah, it's if it's if it's Blue Tribe that has to offer somebody up, it's Tiana.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Yellow Tribe has to offer somebody up. It is Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the line comes from like Andy saying, "Oh, but I could flip the script and like keep Rachel." You know, that's always a thing that they kind of have to say in confessional, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, so if it's going to be from Blue, it is Tiana. If it's going to be from Yellow, I say that they put up Gata. And if it's
You
the
mean Rachel?
sacrificial, sorry, Rachel. If it's the sacrificial lamb from Red, they're first going to say like, "Hey, you took out Rome,"
Mm-hmm.
but if push comes to shove, they're gonna try to put up Genevieve.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Get it. I gotcha. I got you. Yeah. I don't remember. Was Andy talking to Saul and that whole thing about we have to gun for Gata? We have to take out Gata or take a revenge on Gata or something in that next time on.
Yeah, I think it was Saul.
All right. So yeah.
I'm not sure that we know whether it was Andy or Saul that said like we have to take
Oh.
revenge.
Okay.
I think it was just like one of those um voice voiceovers like uh
Yeah,
sorry my
they used a voice clip, and we can't quite. And it might not have been in that same scene, right? You don't quite
yeah,
know. Yeah, yeah.
or it was like dijet non-diegetic, I can't
No, yeah,
remember.
yeah. Diegetic or something. I don't know. Our
my
friend. Yeah. Anyway.
my brain stopped working when I started thinking about penguin.
No, don't say anything yet. I'm like halfway through that episode. I guess that is it for tonight's episode. We would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button so we don't get voted off the channel. At any rate, this has been Joel Parcon.
I'm I'm Joe. Go Indiana Fever.
Go Indiana Fever. And we hope to see you again on the council soon. Until then, stay safe mga kalaro. The Titos have spoken.